Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you how to make this lovely tassel. Um, I did some for the curiosity box and people asked about it, so I decided to do a video. You can get these tassels on AliExpress. They are 5 centimeter long tassels and they come wrapped in this lovely plastic sheath, which is great because I keep this on while I'm doing my beading so it doesn't, damage all the lovely strands. So I'm going to show you how to make this. Super simple, beautiful, and these are earrings. You can make a pendant with it, whatever you want. So you're going to need your tassel. I'm using an 8 millimeter Swarovski pearl blue, pearlescent blue. I think they just call it pearl blue. I'm using a few like closed jump rings for this section up here. You can use whatever you have to create that kind of. What I was trying to do was create a bead cap because I didn't have any silver bead caps that were nice for that. And these here are going to be along the bead where the bird is, and these lovely bird. These are check glass beads, and you could use whatever you have. If you have some really nice pressed beads that you have from check beads, lovely. I'm using some beautiful backlit stars. That's how it looks on the front. These are teeny tiny ones. They're lovely. And these are 2x2 crystals here, and some 11O light copper seed beads. And these are the crystals here. You can get these on BB Craft. They are so cheap. It's like 20 strands and I think there's 200 on each strand for like $5 or something crazy cheap like that. I'm using dragon thread number 6 and a size 12 needle. So I'm gonna take a wingspan. Make sure you take, a wingspan to work with. You won't need it all, but I'll tell you, you want to make sure you have it, because if you don't and you get to the end, it's not a good idea to try and add thread into these tassels here. They will sit differently. So let's get this on. Bring that down. So we'll put that aside for now. So this design starts with right angle weave. So you have right angle weave here and you go across. You do it so that it's around the whole tassel. And as you're building your right angle weave, this is going to take 1 unit, the initial, let me tilt this here, the initial 4 beads for your right angle weave, and then you add sets of 3. So you're going to need this one plus 7 sets on this, and it fits this tassel. And I'll show you as we go to put it on how you can check your measurements if you have a bigger tassel, you're not sure. So let's start with our 4 unit. So you have your 4. Bring them down to the bottom and tie it in a knot. Make another knot. Bring it in there. Make sure it's on there nice and tight. Cut your tail. I'm going to try my eye socket using this thread burner. People are always giving me tips and it's like, I don't know why. I guess I should practice. What do you think? I'm going to create like a little, This is going to be hidden by the other beads, so don't worry. I wouldn't put the knot in the hole. Usually I find a big bead and put my knots in there, but I'm going to pass through everything one more time just to make sure that it's not going anywhere. But yeah, I don't put your knots inside your beads for this design, because we often go through the beads again to add extra beads around it and stuff like that, so you don't want to be. That's caught my thread burner. Okay, so one more and we'll actually go past that knot. Okay, now we're going to add our sets of 3. So pick up 3 crystals. That. You're coming out of that side of the bead, you're going to go into the other side of the bead. That. Pull it through. Going to flip it and get that nice and snug. You're going to go through the next 2 beads. You want to be on the end bead so you're ready to add the next unit. And make sure it's nice and tight. Pick up your next 3. That. So you're coming out of this side, we're going to go into the other side. Flip it over. And I'm going to pass through the next 2 beads to get to the end one. That. Pick up 3. These crystals are hard to see the holes between how tiny they are and the color. So if you have issues with dexterity and vision, you might want to pick. They have the exact same crystals but different colors. They have a beautiful like hunter green that has all kinds of sparkly AB on it. I'll have to do a tassel with that one. Okay. Pick up 3. Back through that. And go through the next 2 beads. And try and keep it snug as possible. We will be putting beads in between to snug it up, but it's good to keep it tight. I find right angle weave is probably it's a really cool stitch, but I find the fact that it's loose bugs me. If you're a beader, you've been beading for a while, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, let me just count here. So that's my initial unit there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. 6. Flip that, bring it down. So this should be the last one. I think I had extra beads out, but we'll double check it against our tassel. So coming out of that side, go into the other side with your 3 beads. And make sure you're in the final bead so we can So set your right angle weave strip at the bottom there. And I'm just going to pull this out just a bit to expose the area we're going to be working on. And that keeps this from getting all tangled and messy. So put that there. Bring the one side up. It's a bit finicky. It's very tiny. And then there's the other side. Now remember, you do need a space in between, because when we hook the end of this side here with the end of this side here, we're going to add 2 beads, because we're going to add our top and bottom and put it around. So let's try that. We're going to pick up a bead. So we're coming out of this end bead. We're going to pick up a bead, crystal. Okay. So you're coming from the top, so you always go down that end bead like that. Let me see if I can pull this without moving things too much. Bring it over your tassel. Oh, I just scooped I might have to put this in my hand. I'm trying to show you on the mat, but there. So it comes together. So now we need our bottom bead. Like that. Put it through the bottom side of that bead that we started at. And this should work if I keep my fingers there. Don't move. And pull it tight. So we're going to go through that one again, so that we can get that nice and snug. Okay, so go through this bead, and we can do 2 at once. There. Yeah, we're talking. So I'm going to go up through these 2 here, like that. Now I'm going to secure this right angle weave to the tassel. I don't want it to move anymore. So I'm just getting in here. This is still not completely tight, so we'll just make sure that's nice and tight. So I would go in at around where it's wrapped. And I mean, it's not as important, but if you see there's where the tassel was tied together, you can kind of follow that, but it's not going to really matter. I think when you go to put this, because I'm covering this, you're not going to see it, but if you do, you can do this design with just the right angle weave and a couple of, beads and some tassels and stuff. Then you might want to just make sure when you attach it to your ear wire that you have this lovely part, the rounded part, facing out, so that you're not seeing this. But you know what? It's so far from people's eyes that they're not going to see that anyway. I think it was somebody said to me, or said on the video, that if people see you that up close, they're too close to you. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so now I'm going to grab, actually I'm going to do this one here. I'm just going to tighten this one where we came out, and then we're going to start adding our beads in between. So let me just do the whole loop of this right angle unit. And go up this one. And come back through. And I'm just going to tight in there. So now that is not moving. It's, you can see it's not moving. That was kind of what I was going for. So now let's put these 11 O's. We're going to put an 11 O in between every one of these. And it doesn't look like they'll fit, but once we snug it up, they will all come together just lovely. So go do all the top ones. So you're just basically going into the spaces in between the top crystals. So there's a space in between. So just pop those in there. I think I figured out this is hard to do on a video. This is like my third attempt to do this video. Of course, twice the phone rang. The phone never rings at my house, except for doctor's appointments and tests and stuff. You know you're getting old when the only people who call you are letting you know that you have an appointment for some medical test. No, I'm not old. I'm just well seasoned. And we just keep going around. I have to dig out some, so I'm going to pass through the next couple, and then that will cinch these guys. Look at how pretty that is. So there, like that. So now we're going to work our thread down to the bottom. We're going to do the same for the bottom. So let's go through this right angle weave here, like that. Now for this, I would go through individual beads because now they're nice and snug together. You don't want to start moving them around too much with your needle. So go through, oops. Careful you don't hook on to the little threads of your tassel. I don't know how this came up. We were talking, a friend, about they could picture me I was going to say unboxing, the OG unboxing, aka Christmas morning. I have black and white, or no, actually they're color, 8mm film of me when I was like 4 and 5 years old, opening Christmas gifts. So I'll have to, they're not, they were put, my dad had them put on VHS from the original 8mm films, and that was years ago. So nothing was digital back then. So I think I have a digital copy. I have you could buy a VHS unit that you played the film and it would turn it to digital. I actually still have it. So I think when I initially got it, I converted everything. But you know, that's been 20 years now. So it's on an old hard drive. I thought it'd be a nice treat to show you guys for Christmas the original crazy, I think that's what it was. Somebody was saying, "You're so funny unboxing stuff. You get so excited." I'm like, "Oh, you should have seen me when I was a child unboxing Christmas presents." Unboxing. Yeah. Okay, we're almost getting to the end here. To this part here. And again, at this point, look at how pretty that is. You could just leave that. It would be fine. And people would still be making wonderful comments about your earrings. So, and if you wanted, you could do like a little charm dangling off of this part here, and you're all set. So one here. And the last one. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through a few of the crystals and the 11O so that I can tighten that and it will stay secure and tighten. And look at that. Just lovely. Perfect. So it looked messy at the beginning, but once you get it done. And again, that's not moving around, so you're fine leaving it there. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to work this way down, and then we'll do the top at the end, I think. No, you know what? Let's do the top. I'll tell you why. Because once we do this section here, I don't want to be like holding it and pressing it too much as we're doing this part. So we'll do this part. So this part's super simple. We're going to go and we're going to add 3 11Os in between the two crystals, and it's going to create this little kind of cross shape. So let's bring our thread up again. So go through the right angle weave crystal, go through that crystal, and go through this crystal. There, now we're set to add our little picot. Okay, so pick up 3 11Os. That. You're coming out of this crystal here. You're going to skip the 11O, but you're going to go through the next crystal like that. They are going to want to sit like this. They're going to want to sit down. Not a big deal. When we get them all done, we're going to come around and we're going to scooch them up the top like that, and we're going to attach them with a crystal. So don't worry too much where it sits. And you could actually do this as an embellishment too. Have these picos coming out from the side. Looks really lovely. So we're just going to do that all the way around. Pick up 3. Coming out of that crystal, we're going to go through this crystal. See? There. 1, 2, 3. Coming out of that crystal, going into this one. There. One, 2, 3. Keep going. I made a beautiful penguin snowflake bracelet using the square stitch loom technique. So you don't use a loom, it's a loom pattern, and you just do it in square stitch. It turned out amazing, so I'll be doing a reveal soon of that, and I'm going to show you a bunch of other ways to use that technique. And the last one, that, go through the crystal. Now you're gonna, we'll come back. We want to come to the end bead there. There. Okay, so we're coming out of this crystal. We're going to go up 2 beads to that end bead. And we're going to add crystals in between. Let's grab some of these crystals. Oh, I don't need that many. So pick up a crystal. I'll show it to you this way. It's probably easier to see. You got your crystal coming out of that bead. We're going to go into this one. And you're just going to, you're basically putting them on. They don't have to be tight, because when we're going to coax them up and tighten them at the top once we have all the crystals on. I'm going to put my finger there. I don't want my tassel coming out of my sleeve. There's my corner bead. That. This is the last bead, so you're going to go through a few at the end and just that in there, coax them up like that and pull them. This one will probably have to go through the whole thing. So just go through. Let me see if I went through the, yeah, I went through the 11 O's on the second go as well. Because you can tighten these by just tightening the crystals, but it would also bring them up a bit. I think we're good just going through everything. So that. So go through the 11 O's and the crystals. And pull them tight. 11 O crystal, 11 O crystal. 11 O crystal, 11 O crystal. And that should do it. Just get it nicely evened out. Put tight. So we are set with this top piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go through the tassel, and I'm going to go on an angle so that I come out somewhere on the other side at the lower end. You could work your way through the beads again, but there. I've been doing this enough that I can figure out where to come out. So now we are going to do our tassels. Let's move these guys out of the way. You need your 11 O's, and I think I probably need some more of these. and your crystals and your stars. Okay, so we attached these pieces here. We attach them from the 11O beads. I'm just thinking I think we'll do it. We are going to go through and add 7 beads, and we're going to skip a set of crystals in one 11O. So we'll put 7 beads and then come back over to this one. There is a way to do this, and I was going to show you that way, but it's a little confusing. So you could essentially do just this, right? But this would sit lower because this would go straight down. It wouldn't. But then when we go to add the next one, we scoop the bead from the other one and it creates this little diamond. So again, it is a little more confusing, but maybe on another one I could show you that technique. So for right now, what we're going to do is, and we are attaching from an 11. I can't believe the phone rang. The phone is ringing. I'm not answering it. I hope my wife answers it. Okay, so we need 7 11Os. 4, 5, 6, 7. We are coming out of this 11O. We're going to skip a crystal, skip the, hi honey,